Like if you had to pick one, if you had to pick an aerial threat or a backfield battler, so to speak.
So we're saying with fullbacks that you've got two different types of positions there. Wingers clearly the same. You've got like your Brian Tor style, and then someone like a Xavier Coates who, by his impressive measurements, probably had a pretty quiet grand final, as did Will Warbrick. Do you reckon that the age of the really tall wingers is coming to an end?
There's a part of me that says yes, and I'm conscious not to be too hard on Coates and Warbrick after their performance, but they were extremely underwhelming. To me, Warbrick looked like a little bit of a rugby union kid that just didn't know how to really take on the battle. Looked a little shell-shock, a little gun-shy.
Ezra Mann was into him.
All over him. And my suspicions leading into the match was Warbrick was one that had the potential to let them down. I think history, like there's two types of wingers as we discussed. The interesting thing is everyone with a high, a kick target, you don't regularly see them score from kicks. Like Toto in the last 4 grand finals, everyone's going, when are they going to put a kick on his head? But he always seems to do okay. It was clear to me on the weekend that the Broncos' 2 wingers, who were a little bit more compact than their Brisbane counterparts, they were much better in the backfield. I think you need 2 guys that can bring the ball out with a lot of effect. I mean, I discussed how with the fullback position, I don't think you need your fullback running for a lot of metres, and the reason that is because you've got 2 wingers that can bring you out of your end. And I thought for 2 guys that were quite not unknown at the start of the year, but certainly wouldn't have been on anyone's radar as some of the best wingers in our game in Mariner and Karapani, I think, was sacked from the Rabbits last year. Exactly. I only just found that out too, but I thought they were unbelievable. The way they brought the ball back, obviously there was a lot the Broncos done right, but a lot of it started with them too. They were very safe under, on kick returns. And so I would say, and once again, I'm conscious not to cut and paste and try and copy everyone, but I would say that your smaller, more compact wingers that can be really effective in the backfield are probably where the game's at the moment.
Because it seems like, footy media better than anyone, but as soon as one person has an idea, everyone shares that. But all we were talking about with Coates for the last month was how do people stop him, because he's so much taller. He's this great focal point for the Storm offence. They were talking about blocking so much. Surely that's still a massive offensive weapon.
But do we see it that often where it's like if you had to pick one, if you had to pick an aerial threat or a backfield battler, so to speak, I think I'd go with someone that's... The thing about them big boys too is you can get under them when they're bringing the ball back. At the end of the day, they've got to run at middles. Middles can actually get under them big boys a little bit easier, in my opinion. Someone that's a little bit more compact and bringing something slightly different, like Toto's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think them 2 Broncos boys were that far off. I know they're on NRL.com. It says they're 6 foot.
Allegedly 6 foot.
Yeah, if you're 6 foot, you're normally 5'11". We all fudge those. So, as I said, I'm conscious not to cut and paste. But teams have been trying to copy the Melbourne Storm for years. They're all trying to copy. So Jerome Hughes, they turned from a fullback to a halfback. You've got a lot of NRL clubs now trying to do that. But what they don't have is the structures and the systems that the Melbourne Storm have. So that's why it'll never look the same as what it looks for Jerome and the Melbourne Storm. So, but it gives us a lot to talk about.
I wonder if that would ever change. You've got the current rule where you can't tackle wingers in the air.
The rules play a big, I think the rules of the game, and they are forever evolving. And what works for 26 rounds might be more effective than what works in the final series. Because in the final series, we know that the game's completely different. The game speeds up, and you're going to need your backfield carries a lot more than probably an aerial pursuit. So it's so interesting. Like a lot of us have slagged the Broncos all year, but now all of a sudden every player in every position's a genius. You know what I mean? So I'm not ashamed to say that we're never going to get it right, and no one's a genius. We're all just idiots trying to, make a bit of money out of a wonderful game. But it seemed over the final series the Broncos had a few prototype players in each position that helped them lift the trophy.